Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the third time I've started this video. Maybe this will be the charm. So welcome to Computer Science. It is March 7th or 8th or 11th, depending whether you're in 701, 702, or 803. The joke of the day: what is the best flower for a boy to give his mom? A sunflower. It's a good one. Good one. My wisdom of the week comes from C.S. Lewis. He was an author from the early 20th century. He wrote some good books. Laziness means more work in the long run. It means, do things right the first time, and you don't have to worry about going back and doing it again. Because usually when you do bad, poor work, you have to come back. Alright, so now I'm looking at my, remember last week I took a picture of my backyard from my back porch? It's just a cloudy day, so you see the beat up flag, the grass is messed up, there are a lot of leaves here. The yard just overall brown. So I was back out there this week, a much nicer day. I replaced the flag. I got rid of some of these leaves over here. There's still some more over there. I removed these weeds, took out some bad wood I have to replace. Cleaned up back here some. You can't really tell from this distance, but over here too. And right here is the tree stump that I'm trying to burn out. You can probably see a little smoke coming up. But let's see how it changes in the next week. We are going to be making something like this, a personalized desk organizer, and our objective. Students will demonstrate understanding of multiple word frames by designing a personalized organizer. Okay, so we're going to open up Tinkercad and welcome. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to change this name up here, and I have already changed mine to Pencil Organizer 3 since this is my third attempt at this video. I am going to change my grid from metric to standard. I'm going to edit grid. I'm going to change it from millimeters to inches, and I'm going to update the grid. Alrighty, now we are going to go into, and we're going to pull out basic shapes, and we're going to slide down just a little bit, and we're going to get this orange orange tube. We're going to change the radius over here to 1, and you see how that enlarges. The wall thickness, and we can leave it at 12. The sides, this is one we need to change, because if you look at it closely now, it's kind of choppy. You can see how it has different sides. We're going to go from 24 to 64, and that's going to make it smooth. It's going to look round. So we're going to leave that like that, and the height is going to be 3.5 inches. And we have our tube, we have our canister. So I look at it and I check the radius is 1, so that's going to make the size of this 2 by 2 at 3.5. Okay, now we need, if you look at it, and I move this cube around and I can see different views, we don't have a bottom. We've done other holes where we've actually inserted a hole, but this time we're just going to replace that hole with a bottom. So we're going to pull out another cylinder. We are going to make this 2 by 2, 2 inches on the X, 2 inches on the Y, and our height, we're only going to make it 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch in decimals is 0.125, and we're going to put them together. I'm going to align it. We've been doing our lining for a few weeks now. I believe this is the 6th week. All you do is click and you drag over both shapes. Come up here to this symbol, click on it. Alright, let me try that again. It looks like we might already have it centered. So we did. I'm going to click on it again. Looks like we already had, it's already looks pretty much lined up. So I am going to click on it one more time. Double check again, because it's kind of weird for me, and I'm going to group. So now I have my canister. Now what we want to do, we want to cut it off at an angle. So we're going to pull out a hole block. And since we know this is 2 inches by 2 inches, we're going to make this hole block pretty big. Let's just make it 4 by 4. We're going to make it oversized. Remember, if you can't see your second shape, just roll it out a little bit. Take 4 by 4, and we can pull it up just a bit. It doesn't matter. Oh shoot. We're gonna make this size up. No, that big. And then I'm gonna go to one of my front. I'm gonna go to a front view so I can see it like this. And I'm going to pull up the shape. I'm gonna pull it over. I'm going to align these guys to make sure I have this at least in the right position. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that front view. And we are going to, let's go back to this view because we have to rotate this box. Okay, so you can rotate it either one of these directions, but it's going to be 22 degrees. And I'm going to go back to my right view so I can see the side. And we want this hole to be up to the very top. See, right over this area, right to the top, coming down at that angle. I'm going to look at it again, make sure I have it all centered. And I'm going to group it. Click and drag, group. And there we have our basic container for the pencils, pens, or whatever else we're going to put on there. Okay, that was an easier one than I thought. Like I said, now we're going to go in and see up here where it says basic shapes. We're going to go down to where it says shape generators. And we're going to pull out one of these soft boxes. And we're going to put it down right next to it. There's a tool over here where we can click in and fit the screen just to make sure we get it the right size. Now, while we have this, they have dimensions over here. We could drag it this way, but see, it kind of deforms it. So we're going to undo that, and what we're going to do, the X, we're going to come over, X, we're going to make 2. It's going to stretch it out that way, and the Y, we're going to make 1.5. You know what? Let's just make that 2. That way it'll be the same size. And I'm going to click on the 2. I'm going to highlight both of them, and I'm going to align them. Center. I don't want it centered this way, left and right, on the x-axis. So I'm just going to click on it. I'm just going to use my arrows. Oops, wrong way. And I'm going to tap it in so it's inside. It's touching the inside of the tube. Okay. We're going to make this a 1/2 inch long. Okay. And you notice we have a similar problem. We don't have a bottom. I'm going to group this. Just so I can stop it from moving around. I can look in the inside and make sure. I may have to move it out a little bit, but we can go with that. That'll still work. Right, so now we're going to go back to basic shapes. And we're going to pull a cube out. Over here where it says radius, we're going to make that 1. And it's going to round the edges. I'm sorry, we're going to make it 0.1. And it sort of rounds the edges to match the box. We're going to make it, we're going to do the z-axis first, 0.125. I'll go to my top view. And it should be 2 by 2. Let's look at that and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to try to align it. It might not even work. So we're going to align this way and that way. We're not even centering. We're going to make it so it lines up. I just want to look at it from a different view. Look at it from the bottom. It looks pretty good to me. And now we're going to group it. And there we have our foundation. Okay, let's begin putting it in personalizers. So we're going to come down in basic shapes, and we're going to pull out a wedge. And if you look at it, it's turned the wrong direction, so we want to rotate it around. So I'm going to click on it, and we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. We're going to turn it completely around. I'm going to look here, and we want to make this 2.5. We're just going to leave it all the other dimensions the same. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to back it into, if I get a top view so I can see where I'm at. Just another little touch in. And we are going to align it. We're going to align it left. Okay. And now we have that. So it should be aligned left on this wall of the cylinder. And just pushed in a little bit. The fact that it's pointing in a little bit like this is not going to really matter. So we're just going to leave it like that. And then we're going to group it. Okay, so we have our foundation. Now all we have to do is personalize it. And this is where our objectives comes in. Because see, we want to put it right here on this wall. On this plane right here. So up here, we're going to pull down one of these work plane tools. And we're going to drop it on top of that shape. Okay. The text, we're going to put text in. So we're going to drag it out, put it in there. You can change the text style. I like the more, I don't like having all the hanging pieces. Like this one has all these hanging pieces. So I'm going to use one of the suns. And you can see that it doesn't fit. I'm going to click on it again. And I'm going to put my name. I'll just put Cox. And one thing I've learned since I've been doing this is that you can just use these black dots to move the size. So I'm just going to pull it in a little bit and pull it down a little bit. And I'm going to look at it. And see, it's too tall. The text is too high. I don't want it sticking up that much. So I'm going to click on the text again. And it says height is 10 right now. Let's take it down to 5 and see what it looks like. Okay, still kind of high. So I'm going to change it to 2. And I can look at it now. Now it's just sticking up a little bit. And then I'm just going to group it. Okay. And of course you can put whatever text in there you want. You don't have to, of course you don't have to do mine. And that's it. Okay.